quality of life is something we really need to start thinking about, because what I've realized is that, you know, we spend so much time wanting to address certain issues and things like that. But what we don't look at is how life and society is currently today. We tend to focus on what's in front of us and not completely what's around us. And I feel like the focus on self and quality of life in this country, and not just of recently, but over the course of some time, it's just in the Western world in general, has the focus on that has moved away, and we've kind of moved more towards, a more consumerist style of life, where we're more concerned about just getting what we want rather than trying to fulfill what we need. So I think that there does need to be a better focus on quality of life. I think we do need to focus more on our health and our well-being. I think there needs to be a market and nationwide focus on how we produce food, our farming, because our farming at the moment is quite inefficient. So much of our land is used for farming, and yet in terms of working and production, it makes up such a small part of, you know, it makes up such a small part of our market, and yet it takes up so much of our land. So we need to look at how to make these things more efficient and more effective. We've gotten so used to going to big corporate chain stores and supermarkets to get all our stuff, rather than, looking towards more local and independent stores. And especially here in the big city in London, a lot of those independent stores have had to I've seen so many of those independent stores across my life just close down one after the other. So we really need to put a focus on how I did a video on my OMC channel where I said we need to focus on becoming more sustainable people. We really need to start focusing more on how we better ourselves as people, how we become more efficient and sustainable as a society, and how we better take care of ourselves and those around us at the end of the day. We've got a big problem with chronic diseases, and we've got a big problem with NHS constantly being overrun. This is well before Corona times, constantly being overrun, people popping up with new diseases here, there, and everywhere, mental health problems, this, that, and the other, many of which are just people who need to in terms of the mental health thing, many of which are just people who need to take better control and better responsibility of their life. But even so, there's so many physical and mental and psychological issues in society. A lot of it can actually be attributed to, and a lot of it can be attributed to our lifestyle, the way we eat, the amount of stress we take on board, how much we're keeping active. We're living in a society today where a lot of people, especially during these lockdown times, sitting at home, sitting behind the screen. A lot of kids are spending most of their time in a phone. A lot of kids are spending most of their time in a phone. They're not going outside and things like that. And if this lockdown thing has been any indication for me, I'm not here saying whether it's good or bad. I understand the mental and psychological effects it has and everything like that, and why you can't just keep people indoors all the time. But from my personal experience, I've been able to reflect and see where my life can improve and see where I can help to improve the lives of others, and how I can try and do things to bring forward hopefully a better future for myself and those around me. So I think that's where we need to start turning our focus. We need to start focusing on quality of life, quality of content, quality of health, and you just overall better quality of society, better, working towards better, more efficient and more sustainable society.